Okay, so in this video, I will show you how you can make any ad profitable, no matter if you run them for your own business or if you run them for your clients. And let me even make a promise. If you watch the video until the end and implement all the three strategies, then your ads will immediately become more profitable. You will have a higher ROI and lower CPL. Let's dive into this. Okay, so step number one is to be aware of these stages of awareness. Because when people see your ad, they will perceive it differently depending on their paradigm. So they can see the same ad set, the same creative, but they will either resonate with it or don't resonate with it just because of their paradigm and at which stage of awareness they currently are. So this depends on how aware they are on the problem or of the situation. So let me give you an example. Let's say you are sick, but you don't know it yet. If I want to sell you medicine, I can't simply tell you our medicine is the best to recover from X illness because you won't listen or resonate with the message because you don't even know that you are sick, right? If you don't know that you have the certain illness, then you won't listen to my message because you don't care if my medicine is the best one to recover from X illness because you don't believe that you have X illness. This is, by the way, a really, really bad example. So never ever advertise for medicine or like medical stuff. But I hope you get the point. So in this case, I would first need to make you aware of the problem by saying something like, do you have these symptoms? Then you maybe have illness X, which can be treated with our medicine. Okay. So in the case you are not aware of the problem you have, I cannot just tell you that our solution is the best one, but I first of all need to make you problem aware. So I need to tell you, hey, do you face these problems or like these symptoms? And if they then understand, hey, I have these symptoms, then I maybe also suffer from this illness or like I suffer from this problem. And then you can basically pitch them with the offer that you have, but only after they know that they face the problem you're selling the solution to. Hope this makes sense. Okay. So many Facebook ads are actually good, but they still fall on deaf ears because the audience is not aware of the problem the ad is talking about. So even if you have the best product and you advertise the product in a really, really good way, you have a ton of case studies and you also have a lot of social proof you showcase in your ad, people still won't listen to the ad if they don't even believe that they have the problem you're trying to solve. And this is what you have probably seen quite often times before. This is basically the pyramid of awareness, so the stages of awareness. But this is like my own concept of it, so it's a bit different from what you see online. So most people are actually unaware. So you see like more than 70 people of the whole market are unaware. So they don't even know that they have a problem or that there is something going wrong in their business, in their life, or with the situation. So these are the people who believe everything is good, they have not achieved their goal, but they don't know why not. Then we have the problem aware stage. So this is the stage where people know that they face a certain problem. For example, on the unaware stage, they just know that they have not reached their yearly income of 100K. And on the problem aware stage, they also know that they have not reached their goal because they don't have enough leads. Then there is the solution aware stage, which is basically being aware of the problem and also knowing that there is a solution to solve the problem, but not knowing which product exists. So in this case, we could say, hey, the problem is they know the problem is that they don't have enough leads, and they know there are certain solutions about like lead generation. So there's like methods to like get more leads. On the next stage, they also know, on top of all of the other things, they also know that there are certain products. For example, there are like Google ads, there are Facebook ads, there are campaigns they can run, and they just know that there are different products and solutions, so specific solutions, which they can buy to solve their problem. And most aware means that they also know you as the service provider, so they know you as a company and they know you as somebody who can solve their problem. So, for example, if you have like a really, really big agency name, they probably know you and they probably know that you can solve the problem they have to help them to get to their goal with a certain solution. And they also know the product you have, and they probably also know the price point, they know the case studies, they know the testimonials and everything else. So most of the market is actually unaware. So they don't even know that they have a problem. And only like 1 or 2% are most aware, and the rest is like somewhere between like most and like solution aware. So in order to effectively talk to those people, we have to set up the ad in a certain way. And this is what most people get wrong. And what I said above, right? So if you basically pitch somebody medicine, but they don't know that they have a problem, they won't listen to it. So these are the different stages again. And these are the different parts and things you have to include in your ad to effectively talk to those people. So people who are most aware, so people who know you, the product and the solution, you can basically just pitch them with discounts and give them a reason to buy now. right? So in the creative, it could say, for example, hey, now it's the best time to basically install solar panels because of this, this, and this reason, or give them a discount, or give them something that they basically just act now. If they are product aware, so if they know that there are certain products, but they have not made the decision to buy from you, or they don't know you as a service provider, they just know that there are different service providers and different solutions, then we have to show them testimonials, we have to show them comparisons and reviews so that they understand that you are the best service provider of all of the different products there are. If they are solution aware, we basically have to show them the benefits of your offer, testimonials, and transformations again, so that they see, hey, the solutions that are on the market, they actually work and they actually can get them to the result, right? And also show them the benefits of your offer again, because at this stage, they know that they have a problem. They know that they know that there are solutions, but they don't know the exact product and they don't know you as a service provider just yet. If they are problem aware, we have to focus on their pain and show them that there is a solution. Okay, so we have to say, for example, hey, if you face this, this, and this problem, then you have to try out this. Okay, so at this stage, they know that they have a problem and they know that they have a certain pain. So we can use the pain and the problem as the hook because they know it already exists. And we can then showcase them that there is a solution. For example, again, showing them testimonials and showing them people who were in a similar situation as them, so struggling with this, this, and this pain point, and then basically showing them the transformation they went through after working with you or after applying a certain solution. And then we have unaware. And here you just have to focus on the symptoms. So they don't know that they have a problem. They don't feel the pain. They just feel symptoms in their life. So you have to focus on the things they probably experience on a day-to-day basis and make them aware of that these symptoms are actually a certain problem, which holds them back from achieving a certain goal. So this is how you basically need to structure the ad to talk to all of these stages effectively. And as I already said, with problem and unaware audiences, you basically need to educate them on the problem first. And this requires a super, super high ad spend. So in order to educate a lot of people, you basically need to spend a lot of money on these ads in order to reach them and then convert them. And therefore, it does not make sense to focus on all of these stages because you need a lot of ad spend and a lot of money to talk to all of those people effectively, right? So you need a lot of creatives, you need a lot of ad spend to cover all of these stages, especially like these two. So what I would do is I would basically just focus on most aware and product aware first. Okay. Even though it's only like 1 to 5% of the market, it's still enough to basically make a lot of money if the market allows you to basically make a lot of money, right? Because if the market is super, super small and you only want to talk to most of our people, then you may only talk to like 300 people worldwide. But if you talk to a large market, then even like the most and product aware stage is super, super big. So just focus on most aware and product aware first. Create creatives and ads who are around these two topics and include these two parts right here. And then after 2 to 3 weeks and after the ad became profitable, you can then increase the ad spend to also target solution aware audiences, right? But just after like the first campaign become profitable. And these are the 3 stages I would basically focus on. So these are the first 2 I would focus on for the first 1 to 4 weeks. After the ad became profitable, you can then focus on solution aware as well. Here you need a bit higher ad spend, therefore you need to increase the ad spend. But anything below, so problem aware and unaware, I would not focus on directly. Right. So lastly, if also the solution aware audience campaign became profitable, then you can also increase the ad spend a lot again to also cover the problem and unaware audiences. It's not necessary, right? But if you already spent like 10, 15K a month on your ads and they are still profitable, then it maybe makes sense to increase the ad spend to like 30 to 50K a month to then also educate people on the problem they have and making them like problem aware in the first place, right? So this depends on the niche again. If you get this right, you will make a lot of money and you will also probably become market leader. But this is what I would do lastly. Okay. So for now, just focus on most aware, product aware, then expand to solution aware, and then focus on problem and unaware lastly. And make sure to make your creatives around these points here. Step number 2, or like strategy number 2, is basically the creative flute. And since the last Andromeda update, Meta requires a lot more different creatives when launching campaigns, so it can pick the winners. Okay, so they changed the approach. Now they want to pick the winners on their own and also create targeting rules based on the image and context of the creative. Right, this is what we cover in step number 3. So back then, it was possible to just focus like 1 to 2 creatives, just split test them, and then eliminate the ads on your own. But now Meta wants to have a lot of creatives so they can basically pick the winner on their own, and they can also set targeting rules based on the image and context they get. Okay, so now they can actually read what the image and what the context of the ad is, and can then basically create targeting rules about that. So this is how it should look like now. You should have like one campaign, you should have one ad set, and you should have like 20 plus creatives for this one ad set. Okay, if you have multiple ad sets, you can go with like less creatives. But if you go for one ad set, I would go for like 20 plus creatives. And this can be like creatives, these can be videos, text-based stuff, and a lot of different things, right? So I would go for 5 different design creatives. So having 5 complete different designs, so 5 ads and creatives who look completely different, right? Maybe some text on the left side, maybe like a video, maybe like a big image and like an overlay, and just 5 complete different designs and creatives. And for each of these designs, I would have 3 to 4 different angles and variations. Okay, so that you overall have like 15 to 20 creatives. And here you just go for different angles. Okay, so there are like different angles and perspective for each product and service. And you may remember this graphic from one of my last videos. But there are like different sides of each product. So you see like number 1, 2, and 3, for example. Okay. So there are like multiple angles. One could be, for example, save X time or make X money, relieve stress or avoid X. So all of them are the same product and all of them do the same thing, but you can market them in different ways and you can present them in different ways. So if you, for example, do lead generation, you can present a lead generation as saving time, so they don't have to spend hours doing lead generation on their own. You can present it as make more money. If you spend $150 in Facebook ads, you probably make like 500 back. You can present it as relieve stress, so that they don't need to stress about getting clients anymore. And you can also present it as avoid X, right? If you help them with lead generation, they can avoid doing cold calls. So you see, it's the same product, the same service, but you can present it in different ways. So what I would do is, again, have 5 different creatives, so 5 different designs and creatives who look completely different from each other, and then 3 to 4 angels for each variation. Okay, so just go through here, just create different variations and different angels for each of these creatives. Keep the creative the same, but just change the overlay and the angel of the whole creative. Okay. And then I would just let it run for 2 weeks and then start eliminating. And I would finally stick to 5 to 8 creatives. No matter if there are like different creative designs, if there are different angels, you just pick the winners and let them run. Step number 3 is actually connected to the thing I mentioned above, right? Because Meta does not only want to pick the winner and want to have a lot of creatives, but it also sets targeting rules based on the image and the context of the creative. So you want to qualify and disqualify people with your ad and with your creative. So as I said, this step is connected to the last one. Now you should start qualifying and disqualifying people using the creative and text, because Meta can actually read it with their new AI. So not only does Meta use the creative to target more effectively, but this can also lower your CPL and help you get through the learning phase faster, because unqualified people won't even fill out the ad in the first place. Because if you let everybody fill out the ad, it takes more time to go through the learning phase and help Meta understand which people you want to target. But if you already disqualify people who are not qualified, then they won't even fill out the ad. So Meta can understand much sooner who are the people you want to target, and you will attract more qualified leads, right? Because people who are not in your ICP, so they won't even fill out the lead form. Therefore, your CPL will be much lower, and Meta can also help you target more effectively, right? Because they can read the creative. So you should basically qualify and disqualify them in, first of all, the first line of the hook of the video ad, in the creative, or as text or like the headline of the ad. Okay, so this is how it could look like. So you could say, for example, hey, if you're making 500K a month, then blah, blah, blah. Right? So people who are making less than 500K a month, they will stop paying attention. And these are the people you don't even want to attract. Therefore, it makes a lot of sense to disqualify them in the first sentence. Another one could be real estate agents with these strategies, blah, blah. Again, people who are not real estate agents, they won't pay attention, right? Why should they? The last one is, for example, hey, this only works for X, not for X. So here you qualify people and disqualify at the same time. And this can also work pretty well, because They know exactly who this is for and who this is not for. Okay, so this is what I've been using a lot for my clients, especially in the real estate and solar sector. And you can, as I said, use this in the first layer of the hook. You can use this in the creative. You can use this at the text or the headline. Just make sure that people see it immediately. Okay. And this is what I call the qualifying line. So having like one line in the ad which qualifies or disqualifies people. And this is how I would go about it. I would first of all start with disqualifying, qualifying obvious things. So the niche, the segment, and so on. Then, if this becomes profitable, you can add more qualification steps and lines and make it tighter over time. Okay, so for example, also qualify for city, money, and pain. And at this stage, you will probably get a higher CPL and the ads will become less profitable. Okay. So as soon as you feel like that the CPL is going up and the ad is not becoming profitable anymore, then just remove the last things you added. Okay. So start with disqualifying, qualifying obvious things, then make it a bit more tighter, and then basically remove what made it too tight so that the CPL becomes great again. Okay. And these are all the three things I would immediately do and take care of once you run your next ad campaign, right? Because this is what made my ads super profitable. We had ROIs over like 15 to 20 for different niches. So this is actually really, really good. Make sure to pay attention. Make sure to implement all the things immediately. And I can promise you, your ad will become more profitable immediately. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to check out the link in the description to get my free agency blueprint and how we help more than 170 agencies at this point to get their first clients and sign their first 2 to 4K a month retainers. We have no guarantee, so now we actually guarantee results. So it's basically a no-brainer because you cannot lose money, you can only make money, otherwise you won't get paid. But yeah, make sure to check out the video and see you in the next one.